Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here to our Hippo lecture, to our talk entitled "The Tyranny of Relativism." It is a polemical musical. Anyone that comes to our logic class knows that we like to sing. The theme song for our class there is the Folgers coffee song. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. So we're gonna sing over the course of the night, like maybe late in the talk. But be ready for that. And before I actually start, Carmen always opens us up with a kind of real fun introduction. What I like to do is, perhaps it's your first time coming here and you're like, what have I gotten myself into? Well, allow me to explain, please. Concerning modern, rather postmodern life, Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, in his last speech before being elected Pope Benedict XVI, decried a, quote, dictatorship of relativism, which does not recognize anything as definitive and whose ultimate goal consists solely in satisfying the desires of one's own ego. And so that is the direct inspiration, the jumping off point into tonight's talk entitled Maybe, Probably, Definitely Yes, The Tyranny of Relativism. One can certainly approach this topic from academic perspective, introduction with a clear thesis, one later on harken back to in a recapitulatory conclusion, a systematic point-by-point argument buttressed by quotes and citations aplenty. In fact, this is a great way to get at the meaning of the tyranny of relativism, and I did precisely this while speaking to a class at the University of Mary in Bismarck in December 2015. However, a great way is not synonymous with the best way. The best way, I believe, is to show, not tell, live by actions, not words, and so maybe, probably, definitely yes is a first-person stream of conscious fiction, told from the perspective of an unnamed narrator who is snowed over, drenched in, if not ill, with the disease of relativism, the then Cardinal Ratzinger so astutely diagnosed. Our society, I argue, is very sick with relativism, and our talk tonight will ask you to consider, so what can we do about that? If you hate the narrator, fine, maybe you hate relativism. But if you root for him throughout, root for his coming to common sense and maybe even conversion, that's fine too. For those of you listening who consider yourselves believers, you might find his friend Albert, a just beginning ex-relativist RCIA candidate, the true hero of the story. He, Albert, always giving his friend clear answers as to what he believes is the only way out of the uncertainty the narrator, the protagonist, seems stuck in. But yeah, and a final point, you'll find our star himself at times, despite being afflicted by relativism, offering what seems like a common sense critique to others. And this might get you to concede, well, maybe there is yet hope for all of us. Following the true introduction to the talk from the incomparable Carmen Eggleston, I will return and dive right in. And I promise you we're diving right in. That's the point of the pre-introduction preamble I'm doing right now. Directly into the mind of this postmodern Socratic gadfly, a man filled with questions, looking for answers, looking for more. I invite you now to help me warmly welcome Carmen.
Relativism means your truth. I know how that happened. Just keep going. Okay. From the top. Relativism means your truth. My truth, above all. What is truth? It's part, well, you do you. Be your best self. Find your bliss. And above all, how dare you? My truth? I'm a Russian princess. House of Romanov, let's start there. Second thing you should know about me. I love numbers, but I'm also scared of them. 1 through 10, I'm terrified of all those numbers except 3. Not together, like 12 is cool, just not 1 by itself or 2 by itself. So here's the 3 to the 15th power minus the numbers that, well, I find horrifying. Yeah, that's my truth. That's my message. 3 to the 3rd power is 27. 3 to the 11th power is 177,147. 3 to the 12th power is 531,441. 3 to the 13th power is 1,594,441. 3 to the 14th power is 4,782,969. 3 to the 15th power is 14,348,907. Does it matter?
My friend claims nothing is real. I say him saying nothing is real proves something is real. And if something is real, we've already blown up his philosophy. He asks me what I mean by blown up. I tell him it's been exposed, demolished, reduced to dust. I tell him the very act of speaking, that is a real thing. And if there are real things, there's probably a larger reality, I think. How sure are you, he asks. About the larger reality? Yes, 100%. Then not probably, assuredly, for certain. That's what you should have said. You know, you're probably right. There you go again, probably. Take a stand, man. A stand. You're telling me to take a stand. You're the one saying it's nothing real. You want me to take a stand? I pull a crinkled up piece of paper from my pocket on which something is written. Me, I can't make heads or tails of it. Picked it up off the sidewalk a few hours ago, read it over once. Nope, understood nothing. Stuffed it away. I hand it to him and ask him to read it aloud. Turtles and the ox. It cannot be turtles all the way down, for as every saint, genius, and idiot knows, something cannot come from nothing, and if there's any indisputable proof of both the veracity and the staying power of the dumb ox's proofs, it's that. It doesn't matter one bit if you can reduce something to even the smallest possible size and claim it all came from that. No, sorry, something can't come from nothing. No one cares how many tortoises you have in your possession, and please, whatever you do not dress up your illogical scientism in plausibly sounding faux first principles like atoms formed. Because why not be more honest and declare stuff happens? My friend says the only way out of the meaningless, numb pain, this no point world will be if God would actually show up on earth himself and tell us what to do. And if you left some kind of instruction manual that clearly told us what to do, we'd know what to do then. And then if you would just do something like an act of love or a sacrifice of some sort, something showing us, hey, I do love you. I'm going to leave no doubt. And he's quite sure the world would be a much different and probably better place, and probably filled with a bunch of stuff like hope, like joy, harmony between people. He finishes saying this, and then we both look at each other and say nothing for a few seconds. You want to go to the casino or bet on greyhounds down at the track? He asks me. We have that here? I ask him. The dogs or the casino? The dogs. Yeah. What? Yeah. What are you saying? What are you saying? I don't know. What do you want to do? Albert called me and said he had just attended a Catholic mass, and it was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen in person with his own eyes. There was music, but it was very old, very subdued, but I liked it, he said. And there was tons of sweet smelling smoke, and it was obvious that people there took it all very seriously. And it made him want to act the same, to mimic them. And so he had done that. And he finished by saying he's pretty sure he'd probably continue to do that going forward. My girlfriend, Angie, is probably going to break up with me because she told me the next time I take her to a fast food restaurant for a date, when it's my time to plan date night, it's not going to be good. A good choice by me, a good thing. That I'm assuming she won't be happy about that because she's told me she would not like that. Next time that happened or is about to happen, like was being planned by me. So now I'm freaking out. Now I'm stressing. My palms are sweating. I even forgot to put socks on. And that's usually the anchor to my day. Fresh socks, matching pair, no holes, no repeats until it's a different month. But now, because it's date night and date night's on me tonight, I don't even have socks on and my belt is upside down. Forget just missing a few holes. Yeah, that too. Man, I got to go to the bathroom. Man, drinking all that Mountain Dew. What a bad idea. What a terrible idea that was. And then Angie walks in. Hey, babe, she says, smiling. I was thinking, let's go to Chick-fil-A. What do you say? My friend told me I should go see a therapist. I told him he should shut up and stay out of my life, mind his own business. Walked past the guy on the street today holding a sign that read, the climate crisis is now. We've got 10 years before the flood and the fire come. The flood and the fire? I asked the guy. Yes, he said. And let me tell you, I could tell he was none too pleased to be answering questions. But if you don't want to talk to people, why are you standing outside in a very public place with a huge sign? Yes, flood and fire, he said, or flood or fire. Look, at the rate we're going, especially with the disgusting carbon pollution, everyone just carries on without a second thought. It's going to be 50 feet underwater or 200 degrees Fahrenheit soon. Do you, he said, accentuating you as he pointed at me, do you think that's okay? Do I think being underwater or on fire is okay? I said in reply. Now he seemed more angry than before because he scoffed, held his sign higher, and began chanting. 2, 4, 6, 8, down with humanity, bugs are great. 2, 4, 6, 8, down with humanity, bugs are great. Excuse me, I said. So I take it you don't like that people aren't doing their part, right? Not recycling, driving cars, eating meat. All this just adds to the collective carbon footprint. And he looked at me and said, yes, you ignoramus, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's worse than anyone can even dream of. And especially all these 9-to-5 working stiff, useless eaters who just drive the car, fill the tank, drive car, fill tank over and over again. How I wish they would just disappear. Good riddance. But I said, what about the fact that all the useless eaters, like you call them, all of them, their carbon footprint put together, are nothing compared to some of the important figures in your movement who in just one flight hurt the planet more, carbon bombed the atmosphere 1 million times over. Now the man had lost all patience with me. He was in no mood to answer my question, let alone even thinking about answering. After 3 seconds of an icy stare, he slowly pulled back his coat to reveal a gun holstered to his belt. I got a long enough look to see it was some kind of BB gun. Still, and now I'm thinking and fast too, on my feet. Still, that would probably leave some nice welts, and so I left at a brisk pace. My friend says he's looking for God in his life, and I asked him what he meant by that, and he said that's why he was looking. He didn't know. He didn't even know where to start. And so how about me? Did I have an idea of what to do? Where to begin? How to do this? Me? I asked. Me? You're asking me? You want advice from me? Me? You're asking me of all people, really me you want? By that time, he had already left. He was gone. The thing is, I had been turned around away from him, answering him with my back to him, and kind of like speaking into the corner of the room in which we were standing. Angie called and asked me if we should get a pet together. I have to admit, I didn't really care what she was calling about because I had written a rap song about her, about us, I mean. The background being, I'm thinking we should start thinking about being more serious, her and me, because the date at Chick-fil-A, it went great. It was awesome. It was just so nice. She let me finish off her waffle fries, and I was just so great. And I had gone home that night and boom, the words were writing themselves. Therapist, my butt. All's not just good upstairs, it's clicking on all cylinders. And so she asked about getting a pet together, and I said nothing. And so she asked again, and I just launched into it. Angie, girl, you on my A list. Angie, because I deleted my B list. Baby A, if I was a teacher, I'd give you an A, you so fine. Then I stopped talking because she had hung up. I don't know if it was because I ignored her question or because she didn't like the song. That's what I mean. It's hard to know things, get clear answers, find out why. My friend said to me, so tell me why exactly a person can't marry a pillow or a tree or even the ocean if they want to. And I started at an answer. I even licked my lips to chase away the cotton mouth and bring forth something, but nothing. I don't know. I thought, I didn't say that. Rather, I said nothing, and then he left. Walked past a guy on the street today who was sitting down on the sidewalk next to a box and a handwritten sign. It read, not homeless, only a lonely artist looking for that priceless human touch. Below that, in a different font and different color, it said, leave a donation if you want to support my work. But you give this guy a hug, and I'll give you $5. Love is priceless. And I just thought, nope, and resumed walking. My friend told me he's been meditating. I asked him what that meant. He said it was hard to explain. Well, I said, if it's hard to explain, how can you be sure you're doing it? He said it was a feeling. What kind? I asked. He said it was hard to explain, but you just kind of got into position and did it. That just sounded awful, the whole phraseology there. So I told him that. Look, wait, he said. It's about getting into your zone, your vibes, your feel, even the deep feel subspace place of bliss. Do you get it now? Do you see what I mean? No, I said. Called Angie and told her I'd be totally up for getting a pet. But so long as it was, wait, she said, stopping me cold in my tracks. But didn't you want to hear my idea? I'm thinking. I've been working on it for a while now. I think, wait, she said, remember when we agreed to have an open relationship? No, I said, what? Look, she said, I'm sorry. I remember that maybe even you suggested it. I'm pretty certain you did, she tells me. No, I didn't, I say. I'm the one who told you my friend Albert told me about that Christian idea of marriage. The church wedding thing, plus the gold rings, the commitment, especially that, you remember? Remember what? She countered. But I laughed at you, laughed in your face, told you no one wants that or does that anymore. And as she's speaking, I'm thinking, no, I told you that because maybe I wanted that. That's why I suggested it. I'm sorry, she says. I have to go. I think about trying to get her to listen to the idea I have about what pet we should get, but hey, listen, she says. I think she hesitates. I think we're probably done. Probably, I say, you think probably? I've made up my mind to go see that therapist. I don't know, it might be fun, why not? My friend says he's a dyed-in-the-wool liberal. Okay, I say, cool, I'm not political at all, I tell him. He said he had to leave this really big city because despite being a liberal, and he tells me he's liberal down to his core, despite being a liberal in a liberal big city, the liberal policies of that city had ruined the city completely, made it dirty and dangerous and just downright disgusting. He told me that when he was at his favorite wheatgrass, organic, vegan smoothie and voting rights tiny house coffee shop, and he looked outside, and there was a guy relieving himself in plain daylight, he knew it was time to leave. He said he picked a small town in the countryside far away from the big city because it seemed like it was a good place to live, owing to it being generally clean, safe, orderly, basically not like a 24/7 post-rave recovery session plus bad indie music. So he said to me, and now smiling, now that I'm here in this new place, it really is a good life. I'm living the good life. There's just one thing missing. Oh, what's that? I asked him. The politics, he tells me. Everything here is just so backwards, so bigoted and outdated. I'm telling you, as soon as me and my like-minded big city expats get a hold of the policies around this town, we'll be making the changes, and pronto, the revolution is coming. Wait, I said, and don't get me wrong, I hate the left, I hate the right, I hate everybody. So I'm not trying to be biased here, but have you ever considered that the policies you like are the reason that the big city got so messed up that you had to leave? And so just maybe don't do that. Don't try that here or ever again. What? He says. And I can tell he's genuinely perplexed. What? What are you talking about? What? My friend says he's kind of Buddhist, kind of Hindu. He's kind of new age and really into days spent strolling on foot, perusing through old bookstores and sitting on park benches doing what he calls communing with the pigeons. He says this kind of earns him the title of first consul of Avant-Gardia in the coming pan-religion of the new and now. That's what he said, but he also said kinda, so I say probably, maybe just maybe though. Maybe he is all this like he claims. What I do know for certain is that he's really into smoking weed. First session with my therapist, I can't believe how cliche it was, satisfyingly so. The room was dark enough to make first impressions creepy. I'm immediately thinking, where are the exits? Are they labeled? Are they lighted? The therapist, Dr. Cowslapper, yep, Cowslapper, Cowslapperr, 3 P's, 3 R's, had me lay down on a couch. It was super moist, not like incidental sweat from before. No, it felt like he had lathered it with something. It smelled good, really good. He had me lay down, and then he said nothing for about 10 minutes. And so I said, hey, but he immediately silenced me. And I went back to that which was before, me laying there, looking at the wall, him over my right shoulder, looking at me. Fine, is this how this is done? Who am I to say this is weird? Do I have a degree in whatever he has a degree in? After 11 hours like this, he told me session 1 was over. I stood up to leave and he offered me something that looked like a breath mint that he had just pulled out from his coat pocket. And me, who's thinking, no, I'm not eating, I'm not doing anything with that, I declined politely. He then tugged aggressively on his jacket and pointed at me. What? I'm thinking. He did it again. Third time. I still didn't get it. Suit yourself, he explained, unhappy I had not understood his meaning. Was talking to a friend today and she kept asking me what I'd do if I knew the world was coming to an end. If the world was ending today, now, she said, would you? And she asked me about like 20 scenarios, posed 45 questions. It was basically nonstop for at least half an hour. End of the world, I'm thinking, end of the world, end of the world. When will you stop talking? My friend was practicing my friend says practicing mindfulness will increase your self-esteem and overall deep field connectivity with the universe's inner magmatic will pulse. Hey, I said, did you ever just consider getting a dog? Walked past a woman on the street today, and she stopped me and just blurted out, I love your jacket. Where do people get such confidence? Just stop and compliment strangers. But okay, look, okay, Angie who? This must be fate because she stopped me. And so I resolved, I'm going to tell her I'd love to get your number. But by that time, she was long gone. Albert says, I got to go to mass, that I should go with him. He tells me to read the Bible. Get a Bible, he says. Just get to it. Get on with it. It's inevitable. About the mass, he says, look, not that it's peaceful or beautiful or serene or melodic or sweet on the ears, the eyes, not just peaceful, serene, melodic, and sweet. It is all these things, but it's something more. It's true, he says. True, I ask. True, he says. True for you, I ask. True, he says. But me, I'm trying to ask him, true, like probably true in your opinion. No, he says. True. Just true. Why do women love arrogant men? I asked my beer bottle. I mean, I was nothing but nice, but kind, verifiably sweet to Angie, and she just walked all over me. Now she's probably with some guy who's head of a motorcycle gang or a quarterback or an accountant, something badass like that. I remember there was this girl who I had biology class with in high school, and I would always tease her in the style of putting her down. Not mean stuff, but kind of always be trolling her. And then one day during the Young Computer Scientists of Tomorrow after school program, he confessed her like psycho-obsessed, I'm not just in love, I want to steal your old t-shirts and sniff them in fields of wildflowers with me. And I'm like, what? And she's like, do you love me? And I was like, no. And then she started crying. And I did feel bad about that. I just don't get it. Is this what women want secretly? Guys who treat them like dirt, put them in their place, be all toxic around them and stuff, really? But so how do I become that? How do I do that? Next time some woman stops me on the street to say something, I'm going to act super brutish, standoffish. Something that says, probably without words, you think I care? You think I need your approval? Session number 2. Dr. Cowslapper asked me about my personal philosophy. Could I sum up my personal philosophy? He asked. You know, I don't know, I said. See, he said, that's exactly your problem. Angie called today and left a message, and I couldn't believe it, but she told me she wants to get back together. I thought about calling her back, but decided to start living my aloof towards women thing. Maybe that's what I'll tell my therapist next time he asks about my personal philosophy. Albert says that people search the world over and do a bunch of crazy stuff like go on 4-day darkness retreats and seek out mountain sages in Tibet and get put in hyperbaric chambers, do all kinds of drugs and talk, take vows of silence, take walks, take more pills. But, he claims, they never take the time, just walk into a church and sit silently in front of the exposed Blessed Sacrament, doing what he says is called Eucharistic adoration, and realize that everything they're searching for is right there. My friend says, I'm a bigot. I'm not a bigot, so I tell him, I'm not a bigot. He says, me denying I'm a bigot means I'm a bigot. I'm not a bigot, I say. That you say you're not a bigot, he says, means you're a bigot. Probably a very extreme form of one. No, I'm not, I say. You saying you're not a bigot means you're a bigot, he says again. Okay, so it's opposites, I guess. I say to myself, fine. Okay, I'll admit it, I'm a bigot. See, you're a bigot, he says. No, I protest. It's opposites. When I come out and say I'm a bigot, you come to the rescue and say, actually, well, I had you pegged all wrong. That's the game we're playing, right? No, he says, you're definitely a bigot. How are you so sure? I ask. Because you just told me yourself, he says. You just said I'm a bigot. I say nothing, but only momentarily. Okay, so let me get this straight. If I admit I'm a bigot because I admitted it. But if I deny I'm a bigot, it means I'm actually secretly a bigot. Yes, he says. Good. Now we're finally getting somewhere. Angie called again. She called me 5 times today, left 5 messages, same message. Let's get back together. My message to her, silence. My friend, the new and now new age one, called me again. Hi. He said, giggling the whole time, hey man, you know how at Kook football games, they play that song and it's like, na, 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 Cougs always find their way home. You know, do you know what I mean? After he asked me, 8 times, I finally said yes. Okay, he said, well, what if, bro, listen, man. What if instead they're like, nah, 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 cougs always find their way stoned. After my third session today, I asked Dr. Cowslapper if he had any leads as to why I could not and cannot still identify a personal philosophy. No, I really have no idea, he said, shaking his head the whole time. About what? I asked. Excuse me? He said, now looking intently at me. About what? I repeated. You have no idea about me not having an idea or about the lack of the idea altogether? And he just shook his head and said, no, I was thinking what I'd say to my wife later when she asked me what I like for dinner. I told Albert everything. I told Albert especially that now I've been in therapy for a month and have gotten no answers and seem like I can't find answers anywhere anyways. Like, where would I even begin to look? And so I was saying to him, but do you have any ideas? You should go to mass, he said. You should read the Bible. Okay, I said, but you said that before. Okay, he said, but have you tried that? No, I said, I had not. So I just told him no. Angie called again. I ignored her call again. This time her message included a whole laundry list of I'm sorry's. I messed up. Boy, did I have no idea how good I had it, how good we were. And so many promises and just, please give me a call. But I'm not going to. But then she texted. Her text read, I'm calling you 1 minute from now. If we ever had anything real, if I ever meant anything to you, you'll pick up and hear me out. Sounds fair, I thought. I put the phone down. 5 seconds later, it's ringing. It's Angie. I put it to my ear. Yes? She clears her throat and jumps right into Mariah Carey's song, We Belong Together. I can't sleep at night when you are on my mind. I get them rollbacks on the radio. Listen to me if you think you're lonely now. Just wait a minute, this is too deep, too deep. I gotta change the station, so I turn the dial, trying to catch a break. And then I hear baby face, I only think of you. As breaking my heart, I'm trying to keep it together, but I'm falling apart, feeling all out of my element, crying, trying to figure out where it all went wrong. Oh, I need you back in my life, baby. When you left, I lost a part of me, and it's still so hard to believe. Baby, please come back, we belong together. Who else am I gonna lean on when times get rough? Who's gonna talk to me on the phone when the sun comes up? Who's gonna take your place? Ain't nobody better, baby. I was so moved, so touched by that I thought I'd be wrong, disrespectful even, not to respond in kind. But the dead air and the silence continued, on and on, still silence. Now it's been about 10 seconds. I guess both of us are speechless, also back together. Definitely, I'm thinking, not probably, certainly back together. And I gotta say, when our kids one day ask, tell us again how you guys met, how you fell in love, I'm going to, hey, Angie says, yeah, I respond. I think, she says, I think now I know that we should definitely never, ever get back together again. Please don't contact me again. What? I say, taken aback. And it takes a lot to take me aback, to catch me by surprise. Yeah, she says. I'm going to hang up now. Bye. My friend says he has his favorite fault. It's bad. Oh, he's embarrassed. Oh, can we not talk about it, not go into it? But so anyways, he says it's habitual, this thing. I keep going back to it again and again, time and again. I keep falling into it. Can we just call it a sin? Can we say sin? He asks me. Yeah, I say, I'm not sure what you mean exactly, but yeah, do you, be you, do what you want. Name things with names you're comfortable with. So I keep falling into the sin, he says, but I mean, I'm saying there's hope for me. Okay, good. I say, what is that? Yeah, he says, I mean, I hate it, but I'm gonna keep doing it, that's for sure. But here's my hope. Here's the thing. Each time I do this bad thing, I do a good deed. Did the bad thing, gave a donation to my library. Did the bad thing, recycle extra carefully next trash day. Did the bad thing, mowed my neighbor's lawn for free, then watered it with sandcastle buckets too. The hose was broken. It got all watered though. It's not perfect, he says, just helps a little with the guilt. I don't know, but look, the guilt with this, it's crazy, big and large. How do you expiate guilt? He asks. Asking me? Me? Yeah, really? Yes, if you do something bad, how do you get rid of all the bad the bad thing has done to you? How do you wash it off? Wash it off, I say. What are you washing? You mean like showering? Sure. Yeah, whatever, he says. How do you, can you take a spiritual shower? Saw on the news today that Dr. was arrested, and his practice is definitely, well, at least probably going to be shut down, so I'm done with therapy. So what do I do now, I thought? Personal philosophy, I was thinking, nope, nowhere closer on that. I have no idea. So I called Albert and asked him what to do. He said I should go to Mass. He said I should read the Bible. Then he asked me if I had tried to go to Mass, even like thought about it since you last spoke. No, I said. No to both. Hadn't thought about going. But why would I? I said, in my defense, you have to actually believe in what the Mass is, what Catholics do, what they're about, right? Yes, Albert said. But do you actually believe these things? I asked him, yes, he said. But you're not even a Catholic yourself, are you? Well, no, not yet. I made this grand discovery less than a month ago, he explained. And ever since that day, I've been at Mass, daily Mass, they call it. Even though I can't yet receive the Holy Eucharist, I can't yet do anything. I've just started this preparatory program they have. But when I get made official, I'm going to do it all. And every day, and even now, as I'm just entering the whole deal, I'm going to be here at Mass, daily Mass, every day, that's for sure. Grand discovery, I asked him, grand discovery, what grand discovery? That it's all true. What is? Everything, 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 everything. You mean, yes, Albert says, yes, it's all true. I couldn't believe it, but yeah, everything, it's all true. The Mass, the Eucharist, about the Blessed Mother, ecclesiology, Thomas Aquinas on kingship and the just political state, Augustine on just war theory, Padre Pio being able to bilocate, confessing your sins to a priest, Hildegard of Binget's music, the Council of Trent, Ad Orientem, incense, ex cathedra proclamations. You're saying everything, Albert says. It's all true. But so, and I can feel him turning the tide of the conversation away from Catholicism unto me. You want to know your deal? My deal. I say, you know my deal? Yeah. He says, I think so. You're going to like diagnose me, identify my malady? Yeah. Albert says, oh yeah. See, I think beyond all the maybe, the probably, even the definitely, it's just let your yes mean yes and your no mean no, clear to me that you're a relativist. And that's your problem. And I used to be a relativist myself, believing nothing, supporting nothing, weather vane, flip-flopping in the will, milquetoast, weak-kneed, just kind of like a no person. A no person, I asked, confused. Yes, Albert says, a no person, an anti-person. You see, now putting his hand on my shoulder, it takes one to know one. And like I said, I was one, but now I'm not one. And the only reason I'm not one now is God, is my faith. That's it. I'm pretty sure that everything does suck and is bland and is basically anti-happiness otherwise outside of that. And so you got to decide if you want the way out or if you want to stay in that mud and muck. I don't say anything. Albert says my name and asks if I'm okay. He says my name again. I nod. You sure? He asks. I don't know. I finally say, I don't know. Albert and I have been hanging out a lot lately. He's a good guy. We keep discussing religion and philosophy each time more deeply, and it's just great. We don't agree, or at least he knows what he believes, whereas I don't, but it's awesome. I love it and look forward to it. One time we were at a coffee shop and sitting and talking, and I looked away for what I thought was like a second tops, and he was gone, like vanished into thin air. He told me later that he had vanished because he was actually an angel. After a few seconds of silence, he burst into laughter and told me he was just messing with me. But he said, that is real though, and does happen. What? I said. Angels, he said, they walk among us. And you never know when that guy you thought was just some bum or some lady you dismissed as an airhead is actually an angel in disguise. So best to always be on your best interpersonal behavior and all that. And he said some more stuff, but it basically boiled down to two important takeaways. Angels were real and he was not an angel. I don't know about all that, but we've been playing a lot of one-on-one basketball, Albert and me, and he's like 5'7" and Irish, and he can dunk. And I'm just saying that's not normal. If instead of hiding at the coffee shop, he had been like, I'm an angel, check this out, and proceeded to dunk, I'm saying I'd have a lot harder time dismissing out of hand. Walking downtown again by myself, parked the car on Main Street, got some ice cream, not a half bad day by my lights. Albert gave me some books to read by this guy named St. Augustine, who prior to his conversion apparently said, give me chastity, Lord, just not yet. And I'm thinking, that if I ever start doubting my ironclad no-person relativism, I might even say, pray, I guess, give me certainty, Lord, a compass, just not yet. But the thing is, no. This can't be happening. It can't be. I see it. I see it's right there. This can't be real. I actually pinch myself. It hurts. I'm not dreaming. I reach my car. I look down, and there it is. There it is. Immediately, I'm filled with regret. This is what I should have said to him, to Dr. Cowslapper, my personal philosophy. Now it all comes into focus. It's all clear. Now I know you really don't know. Don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. Up to that very point in my life, I have never, ever received a citation of any sorts. Perfect law-abiding citizen. That's what I should have told him. That's me. I mean, that was me. But now, finally, picking up the ticket and holding it in my hands, each word like a firm slap across the face. Parking without permit, $25. Please pay online or by check. Fine increases by $5 after 30 days. I understand what it means to really have one's philosophy blown up, have it exposed, demolished, reduced to dust. I sit down on the sidewalk and begin to weep. Thank you.